Okay, LAPD is engaged in super amplification with the intent to communicate a threat while they fly over my apartment. And so you have what is literally in real time turning up the volume of the sound of the helicopter. And I want to be clear, I documented Spectrum. Spectrum is a third-party group stalker already documented and engaged in the pattern of conduct. Right now, while the state is threatening my life, while the publishing of documentation is inherent to the federal investigation, it's inherent to letting the public, letting the federal government know your location and the fact that you're subject to the state's pattern of conduct. It's an ongoing emergency. While the government is threatening my life in this manner, while the people of the state are threatening my life in this manner, I do not have the ability to access my Google Drive because the internet has been supposedly subject to an outage. I want to be clear, the pattern of conduct continues. Spectrum is a third party operating real-time control over my Wi-Fi signal. My bill is paid. This is within the pattern of conduct, and I'm going to prosecute Spectrum as a third party while they are threatening my life. This is relevant to what is obstruction of justice while the state is monitoring, which Spectrum is a part of that pattern of conduct. I want to be clear. While you have some alleged Wi-Fi outage, I want to make sure that you understand the government does not cease to engage in criminal monitoring on the venue of the internet. The state does not, the people of the state are not ceasing in any way. They are not hindered from the ability to engage in monitoring on the venue of the internet. Understand this is a superficial means whereby the state also creates any sort of narrative to establish, oh yeah, we genuinely had an outage and that's why there was no Wi-Fi. All of it is legally irrelevant also. I want to be clear. The state is monitoring just as you see in helicopter, and the people of the state remain in relevant position. All of them are monitoring the venue of the internet, and as I peruse through all of my body of evidence today, then you have what is my Wi-Fi that's no longer in operation. That's a threat to your life when you're publishing the documentation onto the internet. And that is it's a pivotal part of documenting and establishing the case against the state where they're threatening your life. You want to get that evidence onto the internet immediately. That's going to be how the ordinary target individual is going to start and initiate the case against the state that's placed them under surveillance. So I want to be clear, I'm going to prosecute the people that is acting via Spectrum. That is a third-party group stalker. In addition, it's currently 2:30 p.m. The entity is engaged in an ongoing communication of a threat. I want to be clear, the entity is, the tactic that the entity is engaging in right now is that they are monitoring, intentionally engaging in what is the demonic control of the environment. This ongoing demonic imitation of the natural environment is underway right now, still continuously engaging in the pattern of stalking, terrorizing, and harassing by helicopter with real-time knowledge of everything that I'm doing. They are still a sex offender. Engineer light still remains, and this ongoing corroborating conduct of stalking in helicopters remains. The entity is doing it with real-time knowledge of what I present with regard to comparing where the light source was over me at Days Inn in Ontario, California, and the light source is over me, and engineer light is in that apartment, in that hotel room, and the entity knows that I'm documenting the LAPD and the people of the state in LA. That's what they're doing right now. Just covering up the light source and still engaging in that same obsessive and terrorizing and highly demented stalking conduct. That's relevant to how long, let me be clear, the Los Angeles Police Department, they're going to federal prison. That's relevant to how long they're going to sit there and how severely mentally demented they are and how depraved they are. The people of the state are directly engaged in that threat as well. All of the entity, let me be clear, that's engaged in Title 18 criminal conduct, 22618 subsections 1 and 2. They know exactly what's uploaded to my Google Drive. They are reviewing my evidence as I look at it. They are aware of what's being documented based on the nature of the crime of criminal monitoring, and by the way, what demons are doing with regard to operation of communication devices. Criminal monitoring is their ability to control communication devices. I just want to give you, that's a headline there. These demons their demonic activity is directly related to the telephones, cell phones, the monitoring conduct. It exercises control in real time. When I'm in operation on my cell phone, demons engage in the pattern of conduct, and it has a real-time affect on the cell phones. So in case you want to know that, it is demonic activity, and it is in violation of Title 18, and they're engaging in this ongoing obsessive criminal conduct that I'm capturing on video while they're obstructing my ability to access the internet with the full potential that I would be able to. I have a Spectrum Wi-Fi 6, okay, supposedly the strongest signal. My bill is paid, and it's not a coincidence, and it is a matter of what is a crime, where Spectrum is both a third party, where the state is monitoring you and threatening your life. You will be held accountable for that, okay? My phone is with T-Mobile. That signal is not, for whatever reason, not strong enough to upload videos while the entity is threatening my life and flying over in helicopter all day and all night. I also want to be clear, the entity is doing this. So with regard to the amplification, and forgive me, I have a tea kettle on the background. So with regard to the act that the LAPD is engaging in, while they know that, for example, you saw the engineered light that appeared on the ceiling of my bedroom this morning. While, again, LAPD flies over in helicopter, the pattern of the blinds appears on the ceiling and then disappears. The entity knows exactly what I'm documenting, what I'm saying. They're demons that are pacing around right now, while the people of the state remain in relevant position. Everybody at Alvarado Gardens is going to federal prison because of their ongoing engagement in the pattern of conduct, now engaging in what is obstruction of justice, the inability to access my Wi-Fi. That's a threat to your life. Understand the position of the ordinary targeted individual. I'm going to prosecute for this. I'm speaking out to what are the tactics of a corrupt government and the ways in which they will not get away with threatening the life of American citizens, okay? So that's the significance of it. But I want to make sure that you understand these demons are engaging in what is intentionally communicating a threat. And so with regard to amplification, it's not the normal audible activity. When you see them flying at the distance out there, the entity is targeting with the noise of the helicopters inside of my apartment. It's impossible that I can hear that. This is why you see me when I'm opening my window and I'm capturing them group stalking in relevant position, crossing path in a helicopter in the specific environment. It's P.O.C. And their demons are targeting with the audible activity that is not humanly capable of being heard. First of all. So second of all, with the ability to do that, with the ability to demonically imitate the natural environment, 11 hours with a light source, okay? Both the sun and the moon over me where I'm located. The entity engaging whether it's this demonic behavior with the engineered light you see all over my apartment. Okay, it logically follows. I am letting you know what the entity is doing. As they're flying over, as they're flying around, the entity is communicating even more of a threat while they are intentionally hiding what is the light source because I have been providing ongoing vivid illustrations. So what these demons are doing are flying over, making it extraordinarily loud, even louder, communicating a threat while they're engaging in the same stalking conduct, okay? So it's amplified, but I want to be clear, they're engaging in what is amplifying it even more, communicating a threat, and that's what they did right now. So I want to make sure that you see that. They're still stalking, it's not different. They are intentionally, and the entity is engaging in what is a demonic imitation of the environment at all times. This is not the natural environment. So you're still stalking, you're still monitoring, all elements still remain present. You just want to avoid that ongoing comparison between what was happening in Palmdale, California at the same time and what's remaining here at Alvarado Gardens, which, by the way, you don't need to prosecute. The sun is never going to be rising and setting at the same address. They're already prosecuted. I want you to understand the malice of what are highly demented demons who are affiliated with the Los Angeles Police Department and the people of the state that are in relevant position, all of them in LA, they're all going to be prosecuted. And everybody in Alvarado Gardens is going to federal prison. All of them. As I'm reciting to you the methods in which they're engaging in ongoing malice, they're all going to federal prison. Okay? The entities engaged in an ongoing threat. I'm listing out the terms. The entities engaged in ongoing stalking by helicopter and criminal summoning while they are in real time reviewing the evidence as I upload and open more of my Google Drive and just reviewing the evidence that I have. This is what they're doing in real time. They start sounding sirens. The entity starts flying around in helicopter. And then while they fly over by helicopter, they're turning up the volume, okay? Just so that you can understand in your mind, nothing is within the natural occurrences. Demons targeting with the sound of what they're doing, they're literally turning up the volume of the sound of the helicopter, which is a communication of a threat. By demons who are stalking in a helicopter. That's what this police department is doing. All right, and I want to be clear, that's what the people of the state are doing. They're doing it in concert with them, all 59 units. Ceaseless criminal surveillance. They're going to federal prison, that's mandatory. All the children that live at the venue with these third parties are going to be taken away. They're all losing their federal housing benefits. And whenever they get out of federal prison, they will not be returning to any federal housing benefits. They are permanently disqualified. This property itself, Todd Speaker, this property is no longer, and he is not capable. This is how federal policy is going to work. Not capable of participating in such federal housing programs. He's a third party. He facilitates the government's ability to keep under surveillance American citizens. No, you're disqualified based on that criminal act. You cannot qualify for engaging in providing any property or having your properties used where federal housing programs are a part of what's available to those who reside at the property. In addition to what is mental examinations for all. Mental examinations for all. It is currently 2:37 p.m. This is P.O.C.